Record. All right, welcome everybody. It's so great to see everyone on. Welcome to week 2, coffee and consistency. If you haven't already in the thread, drop in where you're tuning in from and what was your biggest win this week. If you haven't yet, switch it over to speaker view. If you guys have done these in the past, you know we usually kind of drop some PowerPoints. We show you exactly what to do, how to change lives. But this series, we're going to have a little bit more conversations with you all. Like, we're going to share our heart. We're going to share everything with you. We're going to show you everything you need to take it to the next level. Kind of the same reason why we blew up in March. By the way, congrats. Amazing March, because we did a training just like this in the month of February. So I'm going to pause on that one real quick. Drop me a 1 in the chat if you either hit a new rank, had your biggest month, or just celebrate and congrats a bunch of people that hit new heights in the month of March, because, you know, we can't, I know it's the 6th of April, but we can't move past that. Oh my gosh. Kelly, can you believe all the ones? It was an amazing month. I couldn't even keep up with all the celebrations in the support page. It was nuts.
I know, it was, it's fun. And you know, what's fun is they kept coming after April 1st and after April 2nd, because people were just waiting to be celebrated and have their time. And it is really, really exciting. So congratulations, everybody. Everybody that's moving into new positions and ranks and volumes, but also those of you that the seeds are planted, you are in place now to be in those next levels too. So I'm thrilled for all of you and very excited for what's to come this week.
All righty, well, let's dive into it. Week number 2, my name is Brad Miller, Integrated Presidential Director and one of the hosts of this call. I've got Kelly Giardino, Global Director. Kelly, you ready for the party today?
I am. I'm even an hour in a different time zone. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I know. You're kind of like, where's Waldo? You're like always in different places, like, you know, the freedom that we get here. So let's see here. Let's dive in today. This is week number 2. If you got, if you're on the East Coast, you're already up and you're already at it. You probably already got after your action today. Hold on. Someone's trying to call in. Oh man, like everyone's trying to get in this morning. I love it. And if you're on the West Coast, you're just waking up. Congratulations for getting up, getting after it. If you're new, it's all good. We get up, we get after it, we learn. You're on video. By the way, actually, drop me a 2 in the chat if you are a newer coach in the last 2 months, or this is your first training that you've actually ever been on. Welcome. Oh my gosh, congratulations. Tim, Angela, Morgan, Amanda, there's so many of you. Okay, I'm particularly excited because today's call is for you. Like, this call, if you follow what we cover today, will be the game changer in launching. This call is going to be for everyone, especially those of you that are already pros at this, because it's not only doing it ourselves, but it's learning to teach others that makes the difference. We give the gift away, we learn how to do it, and then we learn how to teach other people to do it. So we're in week 2. Last week, we talked all about finishing. Oops, can you hear me? All right, good. All right, so I said I'm muted, so now I'm good. This week, we're going to dive into everything that helps you set up, make connections, what it really takes to change lives and set up your month for success. Part of what we'll cover these next 6 weeks are the mindset, the things that you should cover, the things you should be looking at. But we promise step by step to show you exactly how to change lives, and for those that want to grow personally in their health, in their life, and everything. So we asked you guys last week as we set up, so get ready to drop it in the chat. We talked about going all in for this season and maybe giving up some things to pursue that best version of ourselves, to pursue helping people, to take our business and our life and our health to the next level. What's the one thing, there might be multiple, that you gave up this last week to commit to this last season? I'll give it a few seconds because sometimes you have to kind of think about it here. TV, Sarah, TV, fear, I like that. Excuses, side job, sleep, TV. Yeah, the TV is usually the first one to go. TV. Golf, I like that. All righty. Guys, because like 10 years ago, we made the same decision, and it was one of the best things of our life. So not only do we hope to grow over this next little bit, help you guys coach like pros, help change more lives, but we hope to enhance your lives. Which, other little side note on that, we're also doing a health challenge for all of us, because our health leading first is what makes the difference. So if you haven't entered in last Wednesdays, like your starting stuff, please do. But we're going to give away 2 convention tickets. By the way, if you're not registered for convention, make sure you've got that in your schedule. 2 convention tickets to the person that loses the biggest body fat percentage, the coach, during the season, or that has the biggest overall transformation, because we are not diet coaches. Sometimes the biggest win has nothing to do with the scale. We're going to get into that over the next 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, Kelly, anything that you want to comment on there? I can't even keep up with the chat.
I was keeping up too. Some people are not going out to dinner. They're switching to this job is the most important now. Their convention is key. No, it's great. There are a couple of people they want to enter the stuff on Coffee and Consistency page. So we'll circle back on that, how to get that in there. Just put it in there. We get it approved as it comes in. But yeah, everybody's just ready. I think they're ready.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump into today. All right. So this week, we're going to talk about setting up the month. So the first thing, I want to make sure everyone's set up for success. Hold on. Everyone's like, it's been a busy month. Like there's like things coming in from everywhere. Hold on a second here. Have you guys, am I getting feedback now? All right, there we go. We're good. For right now, guys, have you guys set up your month with intention? Sounds like you guys are fully committed. You're in. This group is for those that want to grow. So have you set up your month for intention? If you are a senior coach and above, have you done your map yet? Have you sent it to your team? And of course, filled it out as a living heart document. A lot of you guys saw my live call, which I had some issues on that one on Monday. Thanks for bearing with me on that. But how to set your month up for success, intention, and taking your next steps. So if you haven't set that up yet, that's the thing to focus on today. But really, what we're going to show you how today is, because we get these questions all the time. It was one of the biggest questions in the poll chat. We're going to cover 2 of them today. The art of asking questions and being bulletproof, which is one of my favorite topics. And we're also going to cover okay, what do I need to do? A lot of your guys' first step in this training is to go executive director. That's kind of like basically your first step in going pro and coaching. How do I do that? How do I make that happen? Well, we're going to break that down for you guys today on that topic, and we're going to jump into it. So, but before we get into that, what I want to share with you guys is this, you guys are taking your health to the next level. I got to watch all you guys on social media. I see your wins. I see your breakthroughs. It's been fun to celebrate a lot of with you this week, and there's so many more that I don't even know about, but our story has so much power. And the only difference is do people know about it? That's what I love about what we do is we do sharing and caring, and we will show you how to authentically put yourself in front of more people, because if they just knew that change was possible, you guys, there's so many people that will flock this way. And for all of those that are leaders on here or big thinkers, you guys know what I'm talking about, but I really want to just grab you new coaches or the ones that are in pursuit of executive director. If you do these things, it doesn't take a lot of time, but you can change a massive amount of lives, and it starts with our health. So I was actually going to ask everyone in the chat, and I did this on a training about a month ago, but currently right now, you may know or you may not know, but how many friends do you guys currently have on Facebook? You can guess, but put it in the chat. And if you're big on Instagram too, how many followers do you have? Wow, a lot of you guys have a lot. Wow. 3,000, 1,500, almost 800. Someone's almost maxed out, like 400, 997. So you have 3 spots left. Wow, I can't even keep up. Wow.
What's fun about this, Brad, is that people know that this is a place to go and help more people. Let more people know what we're after.
Exactly. So that's why I wanted to kind of slow down to take some time with you. Because if you guys are consistent over this season, if you guys, I won't show the slide right now because I want to get into today, but we talked about planting seeds each month, how that builds on each other, how consistency is the win. That's why it's called Coffee and Consistency, because consistency will be the breakthrough moment for everyone in their business and helping more people. But also because as we share our health, people will flock to us. So if you can live your health out loud, that's the biggest thing. We're going to show you how to do that today. If you can be intentional in small pockets, people are looking for this. But the biggest thing I want to share with you before we get started, because I'm just looking here, Aaron, you have 2,000 friends. Man, oh my gosh, if people just knew. You have people that would tackle you to get started if they knew. The only issue is they got to know, and we got to speak loud enough so they can think about us. And the thing is that before we get into today, what I want to share with you guys is open up your minds. We're not just looking for weight loss. Some of you guys are just starting on your weight loss journey, and that's totally great. And we're so excited. I remember when I lost my first 20 pounds, I was like, oh my gosh, I finally am doing something. I'm finally accomplishing. I felt good. Guys don't want to admit it, but we have the same thing too. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want to look in the mirror. We want to know what's going on. Everyone has that. But there's other gains too, like community, purpose, finances. A lot of people actually wouldn't have reached out to Ashley R because we actually didn't look like we needed to lose weight, and we looked like we actually kind of had it together for being young in our 20s. So what I want to encourage you guys as we start today and we share this with you is, how big are you thinking? Because as you get into the art of asking questions, it's really about showing up and focusing on other people, which is the magic. So if we're doing this today, how big are you thinking? And when you're thinking about people, what match are you thinking of? And then have you thought about how much your life has changed and where you can change other lives? I want you guys to think big, because the wider you think, like Kelly's going to speak later, I would have never approached Kelly about this business in the very beginning. But, anyways, I'm not going to get on that box there real quick. Because the other thing too, the first funnel in, hold on, there we go. Kelly, you got that? All right. The first thing is most people are going to come in through the health aspect. But if we get really good at sharing and making those matches, we will make lifelong health partners. But also that's where coaches are going to come in. And just so you guys are aware, for the new coaches here, about every 5 coaches that you coach well, that you are good at pouring into their life, they will have a match, probably even more, for paying it forward and that big thing. So I just want to share with you guys that before we get into today. And I actually wanted to bring on Susan LaBelle on the same topic, because I think her story is so powerful. Susan, is there anything you wanted to pass on this subject?
Well, no, I love it. I feel like kind of expanding what we have to offer is, or our minds of understanding our offering is so key in what we do. So my story, and some of you may know this, may not. I was 8 months into, and maybe you have a client like this, 8 months into what we used to call maintenance. Now we call optimizing, right? We're always moving forward in our health. I was 8 months into that process where, and I had said no to coaching, right? I'd referred my clients, I said no, and then I didn't engage with my coach. Anybody, if you have a client like that, right, that hey, there's potential there, but they've already moved on, right? They're a no, they're a done. Well, what I saw through my coach was her continuing to move forward in her health in other areas. Like she was moving forward financially. She was able to spending more time with her kids. And I watched her life transform beyond just the physical health. Like I got the physical piece. I was like, thank you. Thanks for helping me lose my baby weight. Right. But I watched the life transformation, and I actually I didn't know what I didn't know. And I was seeking more community. I was seeking financial health. And we on the outside were not, both my husband and I both worked, Shane and I both were working. We on the outside looked like we had it all together, right? The whole two-boy girl, like white picket fence, all the things, right? And, but we were seeking that. And just to watch, this was so beautiful about social media, them continue to grow. I realized, wow, like maybe there's something there. So coming back around. So I guess you guys, first of all, have patience with people. Timing's everything. And when you know that life is there for somebody else, keep loving on them. Keep reaching out. Keep staying in their world. Not reaching out saying you want to get started, kind of reaching out, but just invite them to your next barbecue. Stay in relationship with them. It's what we're doing here, because when the timing's right, they're going to see you keep moving forward. The point is don't wait for them. Keep moving forward. But as you keep moving forward, they're going to see like, oh, I could take that step too. So just want to keep you guys encouraged, patience. The people are there. Keep moving in your life. But, like what we have is so powerful beyond the weight loss transformation. So yeah, that's like my story, Brad.
Sorry, I got to unmute myself real quick. And by the way, Galaxy Note 9, somehow you figured out how to not be mutable. So if you are calling in from Galaxy Note 9, please mute yourself or come back in. And now they're back on the screen. Somehow I cannot mute them. So, all right. But no, I love that. Go ahead, Kelly.
Muted themselves. Yay.
They did. Okay, all right. Team effort. All right, guys, we're 400 strong on today. I'm excited to jump in. But what I want to share with you guys is, does that speak to your heart as we start today? Because if you can really widen what your perspective is and how you can serve others, that's how you can change lives. So I'm seeing some yes in there. Would you guys like to know more about how to do this today and do it transformationally? Because there are so many people out there looking for us. And like we kind of pointed out on this page here, yes, the answer is yes, yes, yes. So what we're going to get into today is exactly that. And if you do this, because integrated clients, people that transform their health, people that come on and pay it forward, it's not because you do it right. It's mostly heart and connection. But if you do the layout that we show you here, it will increase your success, which is our hope for you, to be joining us with the Big Thinkers, changing lots of lives here. So with that being said, you guys all did amazing last week. You took it and ran with Susan's tips. And I loved all the posts on the page. I went live and I didn't die. And like, oh my gosh, I did the steps. Cece, I think you said you like 5 health assessments. So amazing. Like so many things I can't even name right now. But what we're going to show you guys today is like, how can you put this in your schedule? That's what's going to create people becoming interested in what you do, what you're doing, and how to love on them simply and easily. So I wanted to bring on Danae Marks, new integrated national. Congrats, Danae. Are you there?
Hey, Brad.
All right. So you are a master at this, and you can kind of share your story. I don't want to take away the wind out of your sails on it, but you watched your family transform. You were like me. You watched for like 4 years. And you didn't have a lot of weight loss. So it's not like you had a visible weight loss story. So already people are probably like, well, how did you do this then? And I remember when you actually came on as a coach and you were like, well, do you think I could even help 5 people? And a lot's happened in the last 2 years. And what I realized is you've gotten really good at, and you were really good at the beginning at what we're going to share with today. So everyone posted on social media last week, loved it. And you got really good at this. You have 3 kids, your busy life, you moved from the south to the north, and then you were able to change lots and lots of lives. Will you share with us, like, okay, if you're a new coach today or working towards executive director, or you're one of those new executive directors, I feel like this is one of the most important topics. I mean, it's always important, but especially for this group. We posted last week. So we posted, now what? Will you share with us like the thing that makes the difference as we start this series? And I know you're really passionate to talk about this. So I'm going to turn it over to you. You go for it.
Thanks, everyone. And I am super passionate about it because like Brad said, I don't have a huge weight loss story and I was scared. How many of us out there drop fear in the chat if that is something that you overcame this week? I just have to give a shout out to Wendy oh, look at that. See, this is something we all have had to overcome and to fight through. And I can say in the last 2 years, since I was that brand new baby coach sitting alongside Brad and Denise saying, oh my gosh, please just tell me what to do, I stepped into fear, I pressed beyond it, and that's where this abundance comes from. And it's the same thing that every leader you're going to hear speak today has pressed through. So I just want to give a major shout out to you guys this week. Everyone that I saw just blowing up all over social media, there were hearts everywhere from Susan's document. It was so fun to watch my Facebook feed blow up with tons of beautiful rainbows of hearts and people going live and just sharing boldly and unashamedly what they're truly, truly having victory over this last week. And that is what I'm passionate about. I'll never forget, it was the middle of winter. We had just moved here to Idaho. We had major life change. Like Brad said, I'm a mama of 3. My husband's an executive pastor. We had just started a brand new baby church out here in Idaho. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, sure. I don't even know how I'll be able to help people, but sure, I'll try, because it was for one. It all begins with the one. And so it really, I thought, okay, but now what would it look like for me to share on social media? Especially as a pastor's wife, I fought through all those negative thoughts in my head and thought, you know what? Do I truly believe that I have a gift to share? Do I truly believe that even though I don't have a weight loss story, that I still have a health journey that has value? I do. And so I'll never forget, I took a selfie, which I never take selfies. I took a selfie because that's what Ashley Miller said to do on a training just like this 2 years ago. I took that selfie with my shake in my hand and said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I'm 3 foot deep of snow. I can have energy to walk out here and play with my kids. And my husband came to me and he goes, oh my gosh, you shared. And I'm like, I know, don't remind me, I'm scared. And then I had that moment of, okay, now what? So I am super passionate to tell and to share and to just share my story with you guys of how I've been there. I don't know what to say. What do I do? How do I have a conversation? And so it really is so simple. It's, as Brad says, it's more of the same. So now that you've posted, what should we do next? How do we press forward and continue to fight through that? Oh my gosh, now people are noticing and watching. What do I do? So let's do some really, really concrete things. Grab your paper, grab your pen. We're going to give you some things, but let's have a conversation. Just like Susan did last week, let's just tune into, okay, where are you at? Recognize that, and let's move beyond it. So you've posted. Keep going. Number 1 is keep that momentum pressing forward. You've got everyone stopping and watching and going, oh my gosh, what is it that Brittany's doing? What is it that Debbie's doing? I see you over there. And so they're watching. So keep that momentum. Share someone else's journey. Share your health coach's journey. Share what it looks like to continue to live this out. Someone shared with me, an amazing leader, that, a lot of times what we're sharing is we're sharing what it looks like to have the reciprocal effects of a change on a scale and to have personal, deep, heartfelt change in our life. That's what we're sharing, is what that health looks like in the abundance. So will you do that? Will you commit to going back to Susan's document, to reaching out to your mentorship team and saying, I don't really know what to post next. Today said to post something else. I don't know. That's okay. Leaning in means going open-handedly to your mentorship team, to your coaching team, and saying, okay, I'm ready. Fill my hands with what comes next. And they will. They'll give you that opportunity. They're waiting. They're waiting for you to say, please give me the next step. So yes, post again. And if you don't know, there's the 3, 3, and 3 training. You can reach back out to Susan's document and see some other great ideas. If you didn't have a chance to check that out, that's in our Coffee and Consistency page. You guys, it's called Coffee and Consistency for this reason. Consistency equals actions and effects of those actions. So believe me, if you're excited from that one post and, oh my gosh, I got, 25 likes and 30 comments, that's fantastic. Just wait till you do this consistently, posting and sharing your journey one time a day for the next 30 days. Drop a 3 in the chat if you commit to posting your story. Let's see it. Gail, Yvonne. Oh, Cece's going to blow it up with multiples. Tanya, look at you guys. That's it. We're going to just live our life out loud. People want authentic journeys. So that's what we're going to share. And we're going to continue that momentum, because who knows, maybe they've noticed that first transformation, but guess what? You may say something tomorrow that truly hits them at the heart, that resonates more with their story because you shared your coach's journey, or a friend that you found on the transformation page, because that continues to resonate with them or someone that they know of. So continue that posting. Then let's remember them. Let's have a list. Let's commit to remembering every like, every comment, every person that's kind of passed us by in the grocery store and we've had a comment or a conversation with that checker. Those are integral moments to stop and say, oh my gosh, this is a divine orchestrated moment where I get to have a conversation. I'm going to remember you. So I'm going to go write your name down on a list. Reach out to your mentorship team. If you're like, oh my gosh, do I need to go create something? No, your mentorship team has something called the 100s list, but really create a list wherever you have the capabilities. Grab your phone and start making notes on it. It does it. Grab a napkin. If you're sitting at a restaurant, oh my gosh, that's right. That checker or that server, I want to write her name down. Great. Write it on a napkin, shove it in your purse, and remember to add it to your list when you get home. It doesn't have to be so rigid, but it's the heart of it. That's what the list is. And all of these amazing leaders that you're going to hear from today, they do these same things. There's no magic sauce. It really is living it out and just continuing to have that heart, to have conversations, to friend them on social media, to continue to live your life out before them. But when we cast that wider net, I loved how Brad had you put in there how many Facebook friends you've had. And I noticed some of you said, I had this and now I have this. Think about that boldness right there. The fact that you pressed through, you engaged in other people and you said, oh my gosh, I'd like to be your friend. You know what that means to that other person too? Imagine how excited do you get when someone else sends you a friend request and you're like, oh my gosh, they want to get to know me. That's the same for those other people. When you click add friend, that's how they feel. You're adding value to their life. And that's what social media is about. How are you going to show up and how are you going to add value? And then the third, so hold on, let's commit. How many of us should commit right here, right now, to starting a list? Even if you don't have one, whatever it looks like, you're going to grab your kids' homework and you're going to start writing on that piece of paper, whatever that looks like this week. Tim put a yes, Kelly, Laura, love it. And that's exactly it. So we're going to commit to that. We're going to commit to posting. We're going to commit to having a list. And then thirdly, we're going to commit to starting conversations. This is another point of breaking through that fear. So you've posted. We're going to give you some tangible stuff in just a minute. But this conversation is, let's say you're at the grocery store and someone walks by and looks at you and says, oh, cute sweater. Are you going to just give them a stink eye and keep walking? No. You're going to turn around and say, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Or wow, I really like your shoes. Or, oh my gosh, I've never tried that thing in your cart. Have you ever tried that? Like, have you tried it, or is this your first time? You're just going to naturally create the conversation. And that's what those are. On social media, when someone likes something and you add them to that list, you're remembering them, and then you're going to create a simple conversation of, oh my gosh, thank you so much for liking my post. How are you doing? How's your spring? Summer's coming up. Do you guys have any fun plans? It's very simple to have conversation. I think sometimes, I know for me, I don't know about you, but I get really nervous and I get in my own way, in my own head of, oh, I need to say something different, or because it's on social media, it's different. No. It's just the same. What would it look like if you were to pass by someone at a grocery store, at Starbucks, or walking in your neighborhood? How would that look for you? What is something you would say to them as they walked by you? It's very simple, and it's just the same thing, just through a message on Facebook. It's acknowledging and thanking them. So, will you commit to starting some conversations? And Kelly in a minute is going to give you some incredible knowledge bombs of how to continue to become great at developing that skill set of starting conversations and continuing those with phenomenal questions. I think that is my favorite part of having breakthrough with brand new coaches of, hey, I just don't even know how to have this conversation. You really do. I promise you, you do. And Kelly's going to continue to show you that, look, you've got this covered. Let's just bring it to light a little bit. So get ready for Kelly to just seriously drop some knowledge on you. And you're right, Carrie, it does get easier in the beginning. And can I just give mad shout out to Carrie right there? She started coaching in January and just has continued to be so abundantly consistent, even on those days where she'd come and say, I just don't feel like anything's happening. Girlfriend, press through. She is 2 months now executive director, changing so many lives and just blowing it up with continuing to be consistent. So friends, I promise it does happen when you work, just like the program. When you work the program, it works. The same with coaching. When you're out there, you're present in lives, you're authentic, it does happen. So let's commit. Thirdly, ready? Let's drop a 10 in the chat. We're going big. Ready? We're going to drop a 10 in the chat to commit to starting big, bold, authentic conversations this week. Come on, people. Let's see it. Oh, look at 10s with exclamation points. You guys are just blowing it up. So we're going to commit to these very 3 simple things. And it's the same things that we do all the time. It's the basics. I love how Kelly's just sitting here nodding like, yep, that's what this is, right? It's just the same. I'll never forget. I went to Brad and I said, what do I do next? What do I do next? He goes, great. More of the same. And that's really what it is. It is more of the same. It's continuing to live out an authentic, bold, unashamed life that you're going to notice and acknowledge and be real in other people's lives, because that's what people are longing for. And they're going to remember you when they decide, oh my goodness, I couldn't squeeze myself in. Who has been intentional in our lives, and when and if we ever need to sell our house, I know exactly who my husband and I are going to call. And it's the same with the health journey. We just want them to know who you are and what you do, and that you passionately care about people much bigger than their health journey. And that's what's going to be the biggest difference maker in their life. So let's give you what it looks like. We are going to, oh wait, hold on. Let's put a rock in our schedule. Let's be real. We need to set aside time. If you're going to commit to those 3 things as a mama and having 3 kids and being busy, let's commit. Let's set aside 30 minutes each day. That means if you get up early, or if you commit to turning off Netflix now. I love how you guys have committed to saying no to some good things right now so you can say yes to some great things later. So what space of time, think right now in your head, what space of time can you put on your calendar? And I love how Allison says, I make a plan for myself and I make an appointment and I show up for myself. What 30-minute rock in your schedule are you going to put down so that you can show up to commit to these 3 things, to watch them happen, so that you don't all of a sudden get to the end of the day and say, oh my gosh, I don't know what I did. Where's your 30 minutes in your schedule? Type rock in the chat if you know where you're going to put it and how you're going to show up for yourself. Morning, love it. Perfect. Awesome. Just a quick rock in your schedule will help you to feel like, yeah, I've been present in people's lives. I followed up with that commitment that I made on Saturday. Yep, that's it right there. AM rock, done. Someone's already got it in their schedule. Look, there's even times, 9 to 9:30. I love that. 8 a.m. every day, Brian. That's exactly it. Put it in your schedule and show up for yourself and let your mentorship team know. It's that reciprocal accountability. You don't have to, but it's great to say, hey, guess what? Here's my commitment. Will you hold me accountable? So open yourself up to that. Am I coachable and teachable, like Brad said last week? Great. And here's what I've committed to. Let them know. Show up together. Be there and do these 3 things. I love that. So make that schedule. Now let's show you what it looks like to put it into practice. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. We have the opportunity to share hope and health with so many people when we live authentically. So I wanted to show you what it looks like in real life. Here's some of my screenshots and what I've navigated within health coaching. So I posted, now what? Here's some of my follow-ups. I love taking these conversations, right? And our whole goal is to have a phone conversation. Excuse me, how many times have we been almost caught up in that, oh, well, I could just message back and forth. Press pause, take a deep breath, and realize the whole point of this is to have a phone conversation. They can't read our body language or hear the tone or the influx in our voice when we aren't able to pick up that phone or to click, yes, let's have a video chat on Facebook Messenger or invite them to a Zoom. So this is like the gold right here. When someone just directly messages you and says, oh my gosh, Janae, I noticed that you do diet planning and such for folks, which is so fun. Because then it helps me to realize I need to show that abundance. I get to, as they say on our business, our coaching call a couple of weeks ago, we get to pick up a mirror instead of a magnifying glass. So this was a great reflective moment for me that I need to be better and look at that of, hey, great, I would love to share with you, but here's a couple of times I'd love to have a conversation with you. And even at this point, I had this person on the right, Naomi, said, great, let's go for a walk tomorrow. And I know, because I've learned from my mentorship team, that the best thing for them is to stop and bring it to the phone or to a Zoom to make it a lot easier and accessible for them and for me to best serve so many people. So the direct reach out is always fantastic. And then there's the new friend request. What do I do? Guess what? Facebook says, oh my goodness, Stephanie's your new friend, Danae. Why don't you create a conversation with her? Sure, Facebook, I'll do that. And so I jump into Facebook, and this is where I come within that 3, 3, and 3, like we had talked about, that you can reach out to your mentorship team if you want more knowledge on that, or you haven't had a chance. This is where you get to simply say, oh my gosh, hey, Stephanie, thanks for the friend ad. Are you originally from Idaho or a transplant like me? I just moved here from California, and we love it. I keep it super simple. When I'm starting a new conversation with people and letting them just very simply at the top, when you open that message, it says where they're from or what job they have. And I create a conversation off of that. So it doesn't take a ton of time, but it allows me to personalize it to, hey, I see you're from Ohio. That's wonderful. What area do you live in? Or, oh, my grandparents live over here. All of those things to just create this simple conversation. Turns out, I actually knew Stephanie, but I didn't know this was her, but I created that conversation and opened that door to say, hey, Stephanie, I'd love to talk to you. Who knows? She could have found me and created conversation because she was curious about health, but me starting that message with her gave her a private space, almost opened my door to my office and said, hey, here's my chair. Come and sit down with me, have a normal conversation. And she brought up health. What is it that you're doing? Let's talk about this. We had a conversation, gave her a specific time. We connected early in the morning, and Stephanie began a journey. And it is so fun because Stephanie is further beyond her goal than she ever thought possible. And we get to celebrate her life, which is super fun. And then notice them, follow up, and remember them. So sometimes we do posts like, oh my gosh, I have these Thanksgiving recipes. Following up with them, hey, Christy, here it goes. And then so I sent this to Christy in November. And then in Christy, I noticed that she commented on one of my posts. She had been liking multiple of my posts. So we had created conversations in between. And then, yes, 3 o'clock would be great. Let's connect. Christy is now an amazing, amazing mama, rocking her journey, working a full-time job, and changing so many lives, and has abundant goals now in April. So it's amazing how when you just offer that simple conversation, you never know what's going to come to fruition. But if we don't create those opportunities, I would have never had the chance to hang out with Christy. And then the cost of the program, which Susan is going to drop some amazing knowledge on as well. So just very simple. Hey, I had conversations previously. I'm ready, but what's the cost and how does the program work, right? The 2 number 1 questions we get. Awesome. Let's connect tomorrow and explore what your goals are, and then what would best fit for you. We can give you the information for you. Let's connect at this time. Does it work? That time didn't work for her. No worries. I have rocks in my schedule. So I knew, great, when she said 2, I could do 2:30. We just kind of bounce back and forth in a normal conversation of what's going to work best for both of us. So it doesn't have to take a ton of time. And then, oh my goodness, what happens when you forget a message or you realize that it went down in your messenger because things have been blowing up? There's grace in it. This is from Instagram. I didn't even realize that I could get Instagram messages in December and suddenly completely miss this sweet message. I need to know what it is that you're doing. Oh my goodness. 10 days later, 9 days later, go back and chat with this dear friend of mine who I see all the time, and be able to say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I saw that you reached out. Let's connect. We went back and forth. Ready? There's a whole other slide of how many times we've gone back and forth and rescheduled. But I remembered she had said, hey, let's follow up in December after Christmas. Great. I put it in my calendar as a reminder. Call Lisa. Set up a time with Lisa, message Lisa. Then after New Year's, message Lisa. Just kept remembering her and keeping track on my list of what was going to best serve her. And guess what? She said not yet. And that's okay. I know I'm still going to be here to love and care for her. And now if you continue on in this messenger thread on Instagram, you would see that I've gone back to that friend space of loving and caring on her as a friend. And she's actually my son's preschool teacher. So I get to still see her every day, and I'm not going to be weird about it. And that's one thing I learned from one of our amazing leaders, Doug Wood. Just don't be weird about it. If someone says not yet, no worries. You continue to be present and authentic in their life and love and care for them. So that's just some basic practical things. The other component of this, we have this in a document. So we're going to drop this into our Facebook group so that you can have some tangible things. Just remember to be authentic in it and share your own voice. Share your own voice and reach back out to your mentorship team. So I cannot wait to see the abundant action that happens and all the clients and lives that you get to transform this week as you continue to post, to follow up, and to remember people this week. Thanks, Brad.
So good, Danae. The chat was blowing up. Guys, let's keep the chat going real quick here. Hold on. I got someone else to meet real quick. Was that helpful for you? Drop me a 1 in the chat. Can you relate to those things? I think we've all been there. So what she shared with you was the magic. So again, big takeaway on that one. Guys, I love watching people in action on this because action creates breakthrough. I watch someone being consistent and I'll show you this stuff coming that way. So the big thing to remember to take away from it is keep posting. Can you put that rock in your schedule? I think we're all committed to that. In that same rock, can you have a list and message people out there? Some of you guys need to actually get connected with people. Like you're actually holding people up from starting plan. You need to make that invite like Danae talked about. But some of us just need to like keep investing in people. It's not, hey, are you ready to start programs? Sometimes it's like, hey, I was thinking about you today. Like we want to bring people value and people want to know our story. So if you can commit to this one thing, why are we spending a whole call on this? Because this is the game changer. Integrated clients, lives change. It happens way before they ever reach out or before the conversation generally happens. It comes from intention. This group is for the group that wants to grow, and these are the rocks that are in there. So everyone is committed to that, having a list, starting conversation, and then the gold. I think we've all been there where we're like, has anyone ever done this? Where they've messaged like back and forth like 80 times or had a halfway conversation with people? The biggest thing for them, the biggest thing for you is to just set up that time to talk. Just make it simple, super easy, simple. Oh, Danae, so good. We'll post that document in there so you can reference it. But what we want to move into is the other half of this. So I want to bring on Global Director Tim and Kelly Giardino. They're going to share a little bit about the art of asking questions. It was one of the #1 requested topics for this group. And if you get really good at this, combined with taking on your health and what Danae just talked about, just so much is possible. So I'll turn it over. Who's going first, Tim or Kelly?
I think I am, Brad.
Go for it, Timmy.
Hey, thanks. And you know what, guys? I just congratulate all you guys for getting up, getting after it, and just getting on this training just to invest in yourselves and your businesses. Today, those were amazing knowledge bombs, not only on starting conversations, but how to bring them to the phone. You know, and if you're consistent, like Brad just mentioned again, if you're consistent doing this, you're going to get into a lot of conversations, and people are going to ask a lot of questions. And language matters. Language matters a lot when you're talking to people. And so before Kelly, talks a little bit about the skill set of those conversations, I'm going to talk just for a second on the mindset of those conversations. And that was a real game changer for me. Like, that changed everything. Once I got my mind set on the right path, in the right direction, it just blew up. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I just want to share a little bit about that. And the first rock in your mindset is just knowing that we share and we care, and we, in order to do that, we need to have conversations. So show up confidently. Know that we've got the goods. Like, nobody else has what we have, and nobody else is doing what we're doing. And so we know that we can help these people that are asking for help, that are looking for help. And if you're a little wobbly right now, if you're a new coach, you're a little bit wobbly on that, bring in your support team. Borrow their confidence, because they're bulletproof, and they're going to help you to get to that same place. And also remember that the goal of these conversations is the conversation. It's not getting a client. The goal is building on the relationship. Whether you're starting that relationship or whether you're building upon an existing relationship. But building on that relationship, that's key. So the goal in these conversations is the relationship. So listen to them. Really listen and ask questions. And Kelly's going to talk a little bit more about asking questions. But the relational starting point, that's really the actual starting point to help somebody to actually make a real transformation in their lives. So we're not talking about diet. We're not talking about weight loss. We're talking about them. We want to figure out where they are, where they want to be, and then just kind of show them that we can help them get in that direction. And you see how when the goal is the conversation, like one way of looking at it, when we're just trying to get clients, that creates stress. We get nervous and we're not sure what to say. But we're just having a conversation with somebody, and that's the win. That's the real win. So that creates no stress at all. It's just a conversation. You drop me I'm not sure where we're at. Drop me a 5 in the chat. Like, if you can actually feel that, that's different. That's way different than going in there and great. So the thing that we get to give them in these conversations is we get to actually give them the gift of awakening. All right? That's a way different conversation than a diet. So we awaken their dreams, we awaken their desires through a conversation, not through messages. We can't do it through messaging. We can't tell them, hey, you're going to eat 6 times a day, whatever those things are that we tend to overshare. And believe me, I used to overshare. I write paragraphs in my messages. We can't explain what we do in a message. We have to have that conversation. So we want to listen and ask questions, and Kelly's going to show you that. But we just want to share. We want to show them that we care about their successes, and that's just, like I said, that's just a way more compelling conversation to have. And Kelly is going to take it from here and show you how that works.
Oh, thanks, Tim and Danae and Mile. I've been set up. So I think that you're getting the knowledge that I love the art of asking questions. So my team has heard me say this a few times, if any, but it is so true about building relationships. So we're going to leave you with some things in a little bit, not too much longer, but a couple minutes on how you can put this into your knowledge and your verbiage. But what I really want to share most of is that we get to help people think, what if? So just take a minute and think, like when you're talking to somebody and you're building a relationship, in the back of your mind, think, what if they got healthy? What if they had healthy finances? And let that be your heart's drive into building a relationship with them. And I just, it's so interesting because this is a life skill, learning the joy of being interested instead of being interesting. That is true joy, because what happens is people feel they are so loved. They are just being cared for and heard. I don't know, put a 3 in the chat. I don't know what number, because Danae went with 10 earlier. So we'll go backwards. I put a 7. 7's my fun number. Put a 7 in the chat. If you really know the difference when somebody's authentically listening and wanting to know more about you, right? I mean, that is huge. And what we get to grow into, and so some of you are new on this line, some of you have been coaching for a while, but if you get to grow into knowing how to be interested, the sky's the limit on all your relationships in life. This is going to help you help so many more people. In our team, we say, let me help you help them. And what that lean in, because we don't all come with this skill, but I want to just let you know, this is a skill that can be learned. This is not something like, oh, she has the gift of conversation, or she's always been a talker. I've heard that a few times. That's not what we're talking about. That's true. But what I did learn, and when I learned this for real in how to reach people and help them, it changed everything. And like Tim said, when we both got on the same page, that's when we really, really secured what we've been able to create for us and our team. So know that, really we're looking at a solution mindset. So some things to keep in mind as you're going into these conversations isn't the conversation is the win. If you haven't written that down yet, I would suggest you write that down again. The conversation is your win, because out of those conversations, you're going to help people get on their journeys. And that's our goal. But they may not even know that yet. They may not have been able to dream what that could even look like yet. And so our wonderful part of our job is that we get to help them create that dream of, what if I was healthy? What if I didn't have meds? What if I had healthy finances and I could take my family on a vacation? So all along, you're just layering in relationship and trust as you go. And like Danae, I loved Danae's, all of what she shared. But the best thing for me to be just aware of is that all of us have conversations that go a long time. And they say, not yet. But you know what it is? It's not yet because they're not ready. But they know where to go. And Danae, we're like you. We have our people. When we're ready to buy a car, we know where we're going. When we need to buy a house, we know where we're going. When people are going to be ready to get health, do they know you? Do they have the trust in you? Do they have the value that you're going to be there no matter what? Because we say we're your health coaches for life, so don't give up on them. Do not give up on them. Another thing that I love in asking questions is that are you learning about their families, about their lives? Even as you're beginning coaching, so some of you maybe have your first few clients. When you go into the next week of how to check on them, we go through this in our team a lot. Like, do you know what's going on in their life? So that you can actually help them know what's next in their journey without them having to think, oh my goodness, there's a wedding next week. Do you know that their nephew's wedding is in 2 weeks, so that you can help them be prepared? This is the art of asking questions. Some of it is about also, all of it's about awakening them. So I'll take a pause and just say, in every stage of the journey that we begin a relationship, we're beginning a relationship with a client. They are maybe your potential client. They're not your client yet, or maybe they are, but you're beginning a relationship that you are really hoping to build into a lifelong relationship, because really we want them all to come with us, because we got to help a lot of people around the world, and we need a lot of help to do that, right? So as you're doing that, build into what they want. What is the goal? Where are they wanting to go? And it's so fun. So an example would be somebody says, this week was great. I'm good. I love my success. Great non-scale. But what about next week? What's coming up next week? Well, everything's going to be about normal. Oh, you know what? I actually have a luncheon. Great. Let's plan for that. And that day, shoot me a copy of the menu if you're not sure, if you're still not sure. But this is where we get to really be in their back pocket. And this is the art of awakening them to this is going to be their lifestyle. A lot of people come in, as we know, for weight loss. But we're not coaching a diet. We're coaching a lifestyle. And we want to know their life. Think about that phrase, lifestyle. This is about their lifestyle, and we know how to help them style it, right? So just kind of break that down in your mind. This is so fun to help them focus on what's next. It's not in a managerial way, but in a dreaming way. Okay, so did you get in your jeans? Then shoot me a picture, girl, because we all want to be in the next jeans that we haven't been in a while, right? So what I want to just do is help you in your language, because language matters. You guys know how I love words, and I'm a positive word choice girl. But think about the language before you just shoot stuff out. Is this going to bring value? Is it going to help them feel empowered for their own journey? Because that's what we're doing, is raising responsible people, right? They want to be responsible for their own health. We love being partners, but we're not going to eat the food for them. We are not going to do those things. They need to have empowerment and responsibility through love, through us being a partner, through us showing them that they can. And so every time you ask a question in a potential thread, like, Danae showed us where conversations are building to the phone, as you're having conversations and you had a health assessment and it's moving forward or even not, when you do reach back, because I love Danae, notice them, love them, connect with them. I didn't get all that right, but it. Somebody else wrote it down really well. But you know what? It's fun because you do want to go back and be like, hey, I remember you were going on vacation. How was it? Leave the door open. This is one of the best skills that I learned in the art of asking questions. And you guys set me up and I have still so much room to grow into it, but I do love it. But really, are you leaving the door open for you to have another way in to the conversation, or for them to have a response that you elicit? When you send a Trilogy Zoom call to help them be inspired or to give them a little more information or a follow-up of something, did you leave it open-ended with, hey, let me know what you think about this story, or I'm anxious to hear which story spoke best to you? Or in a transformation picture, maybe you share a before and after from the transformation pages. We have so many resources, guys. This is not all on you, and you've got your support team, but definitely lean into your resources. When you send that, say, wow, I thought this before and after really spoke to me after our conversation. What do you think of this? I bet her husband's happy, or her family, or, we don't want to get weird, but anyway, lean in and invite it. It's, if you have an ounce of love for people, and I'm sure everyone on here does, because you want to help people and that's why you're coaching and you want to pay this forward, know that they want to be involved in a relationship. And you're a catalyst for a relationship that opens them up to all of Optavia. So keep the door open, bring the value, and give them something to respond to. Or if they don't respond, you have another way back into that conversation. So that's where I love about the bulletproof mindset and art of asking questions. I'm going to share just one quick screen for some examples of things that you can put into your own language, but it gives you an idea. Get their full screen there. There we go. Of answering a question with a question. This is key. And so what this means is we don't start talking with the answers. We're solution minded, but we want to answer a question because we want to get them into the intimacy and to the real heart of why they want to go on this journey. So the feel, felt, and found. This is a really good thing to, we'll put this in the page as well. But how does it feel? How did it feel before? How did you feel, or how you felt when you were 10 pounds lighter? And then I found that this is good for my journey. This has worked for some other clients. I found that I loved these stories, and I thought you would too. These are the things that we can really hone in on answering a question with a question. And, we were talking earlier, and Susan's going to come on in a second. This is a life skill. For those of you that have young kids, how about, like Susan said earlier, like if you ask, what did you have fun doing today at school? You're going to get a lot of answers. If you say, did you have a good day at school? I don't know about you guys, but we had boys that grunted in the season of life, So it's a really neat life skill to learn about leading with your heart, wanting to know something. It's just one thing after another. And you get to answer a question with a question so that you can keep learning more about them. Because these clarifying questions, as you can see in the second part, is to gain more understanding and insight about them, right? This is about them. This isn't about us. This is about them having the joy and the health and the freedom that we are finding. So lean into them. Minimize your story. Yes, we share it, but most of them are already come to you. They're already wanting a little more information and have a desire. So this is where the intimacy of this privilege that we get to go on these journeys really hones in. We bring value, trust, we bring relationship, and they come along, and all of that has laid a foundation for their journey to just be completely successful, for us to layer how it would look to pay it forward, and to just have them soar into a lifestyle, their healthy life in the style we're going to lay out for them. And it just is an amazing full picture of what can happen. So we will put these, we'll put these in the page. I just want to give, a shout out though. One of my favorite friends in Optavia, maybe in the world, and Bulletproof, Susan LaBelle. And she's going to bring some stuff now on just building on mindset and showing up like you've heard through all the leaders and just locking this in for you. And I mean, the sky's the limit then. So Susan, are you there?
Hey guys, good morning. Kelly, Bulletproof, how many of you just felt that from Danae, from Brad, from Kelly, Tim, right? And you're like, I want some of whatever they're doing, right? And just for the sake of time, because I really want to honor you guys today, I'm going to move some of my content to a live feed on Monday morning at 10 a.m. We will do that again into the Coffee and Consistency, because I think speaking to the bulletproof mindset of whatever you feel you need to actually create that armor for. I was going to speak to one kind of common, how many of you guys, okay, actually, let me just go there real quick. How many of you have had someone just ask you how much it costs? Anybody? Drop me a 5 in the chat, right? And here's the thing, guys. What I really want to share with you is that it is their obstacle, not yours. Okay. And our desire is to ask enough great questions to help them work through their obstacle. Because actually, cost was something that I had an obstacle when I started, right? Back, when I first reached out to my health coach, 9 years ago, and I have obviously worked through it. So any objection or any obstacle someone has, what I do know is that we can help shed light, give a fresh perspective for people to move through that. That's part of what we get to do. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful gift. So I want to be able to share with you some of that questioning. And because here's what I know, and I just want to piggyback on everything. God, Danae, you killed it. Kelly, when you were talking about just asking questions, this was shared with me, and I may not quote it perfectly, but this is what I want to leave you with, of why developing that skill set is so masterful and why it's important. And I say skill set because it was a skill I had to learn. I am a talker and was a talker, and I still love to share and talk, but I do love to learn and listen to. But when someone says it, okay, or you say it, sorry, let me do that quote again. When you say it, they can deny it. When they say it, it's true. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. When you say it, they can deny it. When they say it, it's true. Meaning you can tell people all day long what you believe, and they can in their head deny it. But if you ask great enough questions about their life and they say it, it's now true for them. And that's the goal of, like, as you're awakening people in what we do. So I am gonna move. Can I just leave with like one little thing, Brad? Because I know we're at 8. And so just really learning to put on our armor every day. I really want to encourage you guys to dig into personal growth, because I feel a lot of today was really about mastering our thoughts. And this is out of the book, The Power of Decision. It's a great book. That just success and failure are results of the use of the mind. Okay? Your only tools in life are your mind and your emotions. Your only tools in life are your mind and emotions. The most successful people in all fields of activity use the same mind and the same emotions that you are using. That means you have the same mind and the same emotions as Danae, as Brad, as Tim and Kelly, and as me. Okay? The genius in any field does not have more mind than you do. but they consciously or subconsciously know how to use the mind to get the results they want. The same is true for the use of the emotions. He knows what to do and assumes that he can do it, and the assumption is in his decision. That's all I'm going to leave you with today, because it is important we put our armor on every single day, and we use our thoughts and emotions to become bulletproof in what we know to be true and not allow other people's obstacles to become our obstacles. And so the art of asking questions, showing up authentically for people, stepping into their world, showing up in love and in service, that is the magic of what we get to do and how we get to show up every single day. So Monday morning, I'll be tackling maybe some of those objections or questions, and how to show up in a bulletproof way, how to ask questions to help shed those fresh perspectives for people, how I share what we do and the idea of cost in a way that I'm not saying I never get, but really, I move through it pretty quick because I don't give it a whole lot of energy, because it's not an objection. If somebody wants to change their life, I've got the goods, right? As do you, because you have the same mind and same emotions and the same program as I do. So with that, Brad, I'm going to pass it back to you and we'll wrap up this morning.
All right, everyone. It's been a great morning. Thank you, Tim, Kelly, Susan, Danae. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to wrap up real quick here because we already hit 8 o'clock, but you guys are all still here and you're on fire. So I just want to say, first off, congrats for investing in yourself. This is probably the thing I'm most passionate about because I watch you all. And if you guys can stay consistent and put this stuff into play, it just gets more and more exciting from here. I want to give a shout out to all the new coaches. Practice this week. Let me actually share my screen real quick as we wrap up and just share a couple things here on the bullet point steps this week here. All right, guys. I'm trying to talk fast because I want to finish up for you guys so we can get on. Some of you guys are like, Brad, I want to get into action. I'm already ready to go. I want to go ask questions. All right, guys, here's the deal. This is why this is so important right here. Everything Danae shared. So can you guys today commit to the rock in your schedule, 30 minutes a day, to share your story? Not just blanket out there, but to share little drips, big drips, little things out there. Go live, all the things. Go back to the document Susan had and really have a list, message people, and do the art of moving it to a conversation. Love it, Tim. The conversation is definitely the win. And if you want to know how to change lives, the conversation is the win. So just that reminder right there, we are building momentum. So here's the recap, you guys. If you guys are focusing on anything this week, do you have your map done, plan set for this month? Have you connected with your support team? I would say yes, because my whole week was very busy with lots of motivated people ready to change lives. The thing to walk in, to make sure that's in your schedule this week, do you have your pockets built in? Because it's just easy once the pocket's built in for posting, commenting, doing those connections each week. You do them and just watch the consistency. I always love when people are starting that, because it's like, they're like, oh my gosh, it's working. And it's like, yes, it works. All you have to do is be consistent. The other win this week is set up 2 or more health assessments or coach explorers, because this week, the conversation is the win. You show me health assessments, conversations, consistency, I'll show you a lot of lives being changed. I'll show you your business, your life looking like that slide I just showed. So the last thing is I'm going to say is live bold. We only have 3 things coming up this week. Join us Monday for Susan's live. You can bring your Q&A. She'll be bringing more on that topic. You can drop your questions in there. On Sunday, I know a lot of you guys are a week into your health journey. Candy and Casey Mitzel, kind of our resident health nutrition gurus, will be dropping some knowledge. Like, it can be for your clients, but mostly for yourself. If you have questions about little nuancy stuff about our plan, like how to get the best results, fat burning, they're going to be explaining this stuff. They're going to open it up at 4 p.m. on Sunday. This is for you and your health journey and any question you want to ask. So come join us tomorrow in this page. Monday, Susan will be doing that. And later this week, if you liked more of that conversation of like, how do I simply move it to a conversation that Danae went over, we'll probably have one more live this week where we break that down a little bit more, because I think that was the thing that I got the most feedback from the chat today. You guys all are amazing. Get after it this week. We're starting April on fire. With that being said, thank you everyone who shared today. Let's go make it a great week, my friends. Appreciate you all. Have a great day. All right, have a great day, everybody.
Hey, Brad, are we done recording? Are you going to post the Casey and Candy